Привет, всем привет, and welcome back to another video with me, Conor Klein. This is the Zara Experience, and you've clicked on this video because you want to know where the most beautiful girls in Ukraine are. And of course, Ukrainian women are famed for their beauty all over the world. This is a question I get asked so many times, not just by viewers, but also by my own coaching clients when they want to come here to Ukraine. Conor, which city should I choose for the beautiful chicks? Right, so that's what we're going to be getting into in today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be outlining the main cities that you're likely to visit, which are of course the capital Kiev, here in beautiful Lviv, in the west of Ukraine, and also of course Odessa, Odessa Mama in the south, which are the main cities that you're going to probably come to if you visit Ukraine. And also at the end, I'm going to go into, the smaller provincial cities, because I have 10 years experience of traveling around Ukraine. So yeah, I've really seen the entire country, so I can give you some insights into where, outside of those main three destinations, where the girls are prettier than not so pretty, because girls in Ukraine in general are some of the most beautiful in the world. If you are someone who is triggered by honest, candid, informed advice because it's not politically correct, then definitely this is not the channel for you. You should probably just go on to something like BuzzFeed, where everybody gets a prize and whatever. Here you're going to get my candid, honest opinions based on my actual experience of traveling around countries like Ukraine. I'm going to go to Russia next week, Belarus. So if you want that kind of more mainstream stuff and banal kind of lists of whatever beautiful girls stuff, there's enough of it in other channels, so just go, and you should probably just click away from this video now if you're one of those people. Still here? I thought so. All right, let's get into the video. Pashli. So here I am, walking through the streets of lovely Lviv, beautiful Lviv. It is an incredible city for its beauty, architecturally at least. So you're more interested in knowing, well, Conor, cut to the chase, what are the chicks like here? Now, one thing that is very noticeable in Western Ukraine, in this city, is the fact that girls in general are a bit shorter and more likely to be brunette than I've seen in the other parts of Ukraine. People here tend to be a little bit of a different mix than you're going to find further to the east in the country. So during Soviet times, Lviv, or this region in Western Ukraine, was not as heavily industrialized as, say, the center of the country or the east, the industrial east of Ukraine. And as a result, the Soviets didn't move as many people from, other parts of the Soviet Union. And you also had less Russians come here as well. This is the city that speaks the most Ukrainian of the big cities in Ukraine. And that's one of the reasons, is the fact that there was less people brought here during Soviet times. So if leggy blondes is your thing, then probably Lviv is not going to be for you for that obvious reason. You're just not going to see as much of that here as you're going to see it in other cities. Of course, don't want to say that you're not going to see anyone like that, especially because this is a big touristic city and girls come from other parts of Ukraine, also from Belarus a lot, to spend a weekend here, spend a week here. So you're going to see girls that are from those areas and countries as well. I would say, in my opinion, that girls here in Lviv are not as good looking in general as the girls on average in other cities in Ukraine, in big cities or in other regions. So if you're planning to come to Lviv just for chicks, I would say that you should think again. Come for the amazing atmosphere and the architecture, and maybe even bring a beautiful Ukrainian girl here with you, rather than coming here hoping to meet one in particular in Lviv. Just on average, that's my opinion. So Mariana,
Да.
What do you think? Girls in Ukraine, where are the most beautiful in your experience, having traveled around and being a Ukrainian girl? Where do you think are the prettiest girls?
I guess people, girls from all over Ukraine, they come to Odessa, especially in summertime. So all girls, all good-looking girls trying to come to Odessa during summertime. But in Kiev also not too bad, because a lot of girls from different villages come to Kiev, to a capital, to find a better future. So I guess Kiev in Odessa, it's quite high rate, let's say, and also I hear, I don't know, but I guess Kharkiv, because Kharkiv has a lot of girls, just a lot of girls and no guys. So I guess in, I mean, there you can find every second girl at least not too bad looking, and if there is no guys at all, so you have more chances.
Okay, perfect. Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and as you expect for a big metropolitan city and a capital city at that, it attracts Ukrainians from all over the country, and in particular it's going to attract those interested in working in entertainment, so it can be TV show hosts, actresses, models. It's all centered here. Those kind of girls are going to be attracted to come to Kiev. Also a lot of students, I would say they tend to be more streetwise, more cool, more trendy than you're going to see in the more provincial cities, and definitely the beauty is there to be seen because it's a mix, it's a representation of the whole country in general. You're going to have a lot of people who've come from Donbass, where there has been a conflict for the last 6 years, and you know, the girls from the east of Ukraine are obviously probably on average a little bit better looking than the rest of the country, so all those girls moving from Donbass to Kiev. The population here may be as big as 5 or 6 million at this stage. No one's really sure. At least I haven't been able to find a very, very accurate estimate, but it's grown hugely in the last few years. Those girls are coming to the capital to seek their fortune. So definitely, it's a standard bearer for the country. Kiev also a very interesting hotspot for Ukrainian beauty. Odessa Mama, on the shores of the Black Sea, a city that is absolutely, completely famous for the beauty of its women. This is a summer city which thousands, tens of thousands of horny guys from around the world come here hoping to meet beautiful women. So it's going to be, in terms of an aesthetic, a little bit different probably to what you'd expect, because here in Odessa, girls tend to be more brunette than blonde. Actually, being blonde from Odessa is pretty rare, in fact. And I always think a lot of girls here, they look like they could be Italian or Spanish or even maybe Turkish, because they have a, you know, slightly, or Latina actually in general, you could say, because they tend to have this kind of olive color skin, a little bit darker, darker features in terms of brown eyes and brown hair. That is because the mix here in the South Ukraine is definitely different to Western Ukraine and Central Ukraine and the East. It tends to have more influence from the Balkans. So the Balkans countries like Bulgaria, there's a lot of ethnic Bulgarians in the region. It's a pretty new city and people moved here. It used to have a huge Jewish population. Now there are still obviously some Jews as well. It's this kind of mix that you have here. Definitely girls are very beautiful. However, this is an extremely touristic city. That means there are a huge number of scammer girls. So this is why actually I definitely don't recommend Odessa as the city if your main priority is meeting beautiful women, because it can be very hard here. There's a lot of tourism. Girls are not impressed by foreign guys in general here because there's just so many of them. And you know, foreign guys have a reputation for sex tourism here, because there is a lot of sex tourism that targets this city more than the rest of Ukraine, I would say, overall. So being a foreigner here is going to make it a little bit hard, and yeah, girls are used to their fame online for being beautiful and the amount of attention they get. So it's actually going to be a bit harder to find, especially girls you can trust in Odessa than in other cities in Ukraine.
In Odessa, it's a lot of competition. So you need to be high level already to picking up a good girl in Odessa. In Kharkiv, it's easier.
So Ukraine isn't just about its main three touristic cities, which are Lviv, Odessa, Mama, and Kiev. It's also a country, well, it's a country of over 40 million people, and it's big. It's the biggest country that's entirely in Europe. Of course, Russia is bigger, but it's not entirely situated on the European landmass. So other cities that you're definitely going to want to know about are cities like Kharkiv, which is the old capital of Ukraine and the country's second biggest city. Also Dnipro, which is in the center on the river Dnipro. Pretty easy to remember that. Other places you've probably heard of if you've been researching a line are Nikolaev, Kherson, which are not so far from here in Odessa. It's probably going to be about 3 to 4 hours to travel to both of those cities. Now, what can you expect? Kharkiv is Ukraine's biggest university center. There are a lot of students, so it's definitely attracting girls who are more intellectual in general, and definitely it is a city where the girls are extremely beautiful. I would say that the further east you go in Ukraine, the more beautiful the women are in general. Fortunately, obviously you can't go to Donetsk, it's off limits. Kharkiv, big university city. I have a lot of great memories of partying there, especially in the very heart of the winter when it's extremely cold. The past, but a big student scene. Девушки из Николаевской области, они более или меньше красивые, чем здесь в Одессе? Что думаешь?
Ну, я хочу сказати, що на Україні кругом гарні дівчата, але часто я помічаю, коли я приїжджаю або в Київ, або якесь інше місто, і мене питають, звідки ти? Я говорю, я з міста Вознесенська, Миколаївська область. О, да, це точно, звідти самі найгарніші дівчата. І це не перший раз я чую, це дуже багато хто говорить. І навіть в Одесі так говорять, що в Миколаївській області найгарніші дівчата.
Where do you think? Where's better, more beautiful girls, Kiev or Odessa?
Odessa. Second, Kiev. And third, Kharkiv.
Okay.
It's my list.
Super. Спасибо. So before I let you go, there's something that you really need to get on if you don't already have it, and that is my checklist for the 5 biggest mistakes made by Western men when they come here to, let's say, like Odessa in Ukraine, or it might be Russia, might be Belarus, to date the beautiful women. So these are the mistakes that I've seen by just other friends or people that I see on the street here in Odessa, or in restaurants or in cafes, my clients over the last year, a couple of years, and mistakes I made myself when I first came here to Eastern Europe. Now, in today's video, you got an overview about where in Ukraine are the most beautiful girls, but if you come to the cities that have the beautiful girls and you do not know how to behave on a date, it's going to be a disastrous and a very, very painful learning curve for you. So definitely, it's for free. What you have to do is go below to the description to this video. There's going to be a link. You type in your email address and then I will send you my checklist with the 5 biggest mistakes and how to avoid them. And you're going to be good to go for your dates here in Ukraine when you come and to the cities with the most beautiful women in the world, probably. See you soon in the next video. До свидания.
SAR Experience.